Did you know that 1 in every 100 people is a psychopath and that narcissism is on the rise globally? Quite a staggering thought, isn't it? Welcome to a deep dive into the mind of psychopaths and narcissists, characters that often seem to be straight out of a Hollywood thriller, but are in fact more prevalent in our society than we may realize. Psychopaths, often portrayed as cold, calculating individuals with a penchant for criminal activities, are indeed devoid of empathy and remorse. But it's important to remember that not all psychopaths are violent or criminal. Many are successful individuals who excel in manipulating and exploiting others for their own gain. They are masters of charm, often appearing charismatic and attractive, which makes their manipulative behaviors even more insidious. On the other hand, narcissists are individuals consumed by an inflated sense of self-importance and an insatiable need for admiration. They often lack empathy for others and are preoccupied with fantasies of unlimited success, power, brilliance, beauty, or ideal love. This grandiose sense of self often masks a fragile self-esteem, vulnerable to the slightest criticism. Both psychopaths and narcissists share a common trait: a lack of empathy. They struggle to understand or share the feelings of others, which allows them to manipulate, lie, and exploit without feeling guilt or remorse. This lack of empathy, coupled with their manipulative behaviors, can make them dangerous in personal relationships, workplaces, and broader society. It's also worth noting that these characteristics aren't simply black and white. There's a spectrum, with some individuals exhibiting more extreme traits than others. Remember, every psychopath is a narcissist, but not every narcissist is a psychopath. But why should we concern ourselves with understanding these personalities? It's simple. Understanding the mindset of these individuals can help us recognize and deal with them effectively. So as we continue this journey, stay with us as we delve deeper into the corporate psychopath, the narcissistic friend, and how to recognize the signs. Picture this: a high-flying executive, charismatic and ruthless, climbing the corporate ladder without remorse or guilt. You might think we're talking about the latest Hollywood blockbuster, but we're actually describing a real-life phenomenon, the corporate psychopath. In the heart of the corporate jungle, these individuals thrive. They're not the knife-wielding maniacs we see in horror movies. Rather, they're the smooth-talking, power-hungry professionals, adept at manipulating others and exploiting the system for their own gain. These corporate psychopaths are often charming, charismatic, and intelligent. They're the ones who can charm the socks off anyone, from the mailroom clerk to the CEO. But beneath this veneer of charm and charisma lies a cold, calculating mind that has no qualms about stepping on others to reach the top. They're the masters of manipulation, using their glib charm to deceive and control others. They're adept at playing the corporate game, bending rules and twisting truths to suit their needs. They're the ones who can make even the most unethical actions seem reasonable and necessary. Corporate psychopaths lack empathy and guilt. They don't feel remorse for their actions, no matter how harmful they might be to others. They're the ones who can lay off hundreds of employees without batting an eye, all while enjoying a lavish lifestyle funded by their ill-gotten gains. But perhaps the most chilling aspect of these individuals is their ability to blend in. They're not easy to spot, often hiding in plain sight. They're the ones who appear normal, even admirable, on the surface. But beneath the facade, they're driven by a relentless pursuit of power and wealth. These corporate psychopaths are not anomalies. They're more common than you might think. One study suggests that 1 in 5 corporate professionals exhibits traits consistent with psychopathy. That's a chilling statistic, isn't it? This is a classic example of a psychopath in the corporate world, exploiting the system for personal advantage. They are a stark reminder that not all monsters lurk in the shadows. Some wear suits and ties and walk among us in the corridors of power. Imagine a friend who always turns the conversation back to themselves, who belittles your achievements while exaggerating their own. Picture this. You're excited about a promotion you've just received, eager to share the news. But before you can even finish your sentence, your friend interrupts with a story about how they were promoted twice in the same year. Suddenly, the spotlight is back on them, and your moment of joy is overshadowed by their greater achievement. This friend, let's call them Alex, seems to have an insatiable appetite for admiration. Every conversation, every interaction seems to revolve around them. They're like a moth drawn to the flame of applause and compliments. And if the flame flickers, if the attention wanes, they're quick to fan it back to life with yet another tale of their grand exploits. But there's a darker side to Alex's seemingly charming and self-assured persona. Beneath the bravado lies a startling lack of empathy. They don't seem to understand or care about your feelings unless it serves their purpose. Remember when you were going through a rough patch, feeling low and vulnerable? Alex was there, not with a comforting shoulder to lean on, but with a story about their own, much worse struggle. They used your pain as a stepping stone to once again claim the center stage. Alex's world is a mirror, reflecting their own image, their own desires, their own narrative. It's a world where their needs always come first, where their voice is the loudest, where their ego is the biggest. This is not a healthy friendship. It's a one-way street where you're always giving and they're always taking, where your feelings are dismissed and their needs are prioritized. This is a typical example of a narcissist in a social setting constantly seeking attention and validation. It's important to recognize these patterns, to understand that this is not about you but about them, because in the end, the only person a narcissist truly cares about is themselves. So, how do you spot a psychopath or a narcissist in your life? Well, there are a few key signs that might indicate you're dealing with one of these individuals. Let's start with psychopaths. They often exhibit a grandiose sense of self-worth, believing they're superior to others. They can be charming, but this charm is usually superficial and manipulative, designed to get what they want. Psychopaths also tend to lack empathy, showing little regard for the feelings and needs of others. But perhaps one of the most telling signs is their persistent pattern of irresponsibility and unreliability. They might make big promises, but they rarely follow through. They often live a parasitic lifestyle, relying on others for money or resources, and they may have a history of criminal or impulsive behavior. Now let's talk about narcissists. Like psychopaths, they too have a grandiose sense of self-importance. They believe they're special and unique, and they expect others to recognize them as superior. Narcissists require excessive admiration and will often go to great lengths to achieve it. They may be overly concerned with fantasies of unlimited success, power, brilliance, beauty, or ideal love. Narcissists also tend to be envious of others, or believe others are envious of them. They often lack empathy, are unwilling to recognize or identify with the feelings and needs of others. They frequently have a sense of entitlement, expecting special treatment, and are often exploitative in their relationships, taking advantage of others to achieve their own ends. Both psychopaths and narcissists can be incredibly destructive, leaving a trail of emotional devastation in their wake. But by recognizing these signs, you can better protect yourself and maintain your boundaries. And remember, if you suspect someone in your life is a psychopath or a narcissist, it's important to seek professional help to navigate these complex and often dangerous relationships. By recognizing these signs, you can protect yourself from manipulation and emotional harm. Dealing with psychopaths and narcissists can be challenging, but it's not impossible. We've spent the last several minutes delving into the complex world of psychopathy and narcissism. We've explored their presence in the corporate world and in our personal relationships. We've learned how to recognize the signs. Now let's focus on the most crucial part: how to cope with these challenging individuals. First and foremost, it's critical to maintain a strong sense of self. Psychopaths and narcissists are masters of manipulation, often seeking to undermine your confidence and self-worth. Don't let them. Know your worth, hold on to your values, and refuse to be swayed by their tactics. Next, set clear boundaries. This could mean limiting the amount of time you spend with them, or determining what topics are off limits for discussion. If they persistently cross these boundaries, you may need to consider removing them from your life entirely. Communication is key, but it's important to communicate effectively. Avoid getting drawn into arguments or power struggles. Instead, stay calm, keep your responses short and to the point, and avoid revealing personal information that they could potentially use against you. Self-care is another essential component. Dealing with a psychopath or narcissist can be mentally and emotionally draining, so make sure to take time for yourself. Engage in activities that you enjoy and that help you relax and recharge. Lastly, seek support. This can be from friends, family, or a mental health professional. You don't have to face this challenge alone. Sharing your experiences and getting advice from others who have been in similar situations can be incredibly helpful. So there we have it. A brief guide to understanding and dealing with psychopaths and narcissists. It's a complex topic, but with the right knowledge and strategies, it's a challenge that can be managed. Remember, knowledge is power. Understanding the mindset of psychopaths and narcissists can equip us with the tools we need to navigate our interactions with them.